Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 5, episode number 49. Tonight's the sports edition. Andy, we're going to talk some sports, Major League Baseball, postseason, everything.
NASCAR, WNBA, got lots of compelling stuff here.
College football.
Yes.
Now, Andy, the NHL preseason has started, but we're not going to touch on that, are we?
Not yet. They're going to wait till next week. So we got
Get into the
playoffs going after WNBA. It's kind of taking the NHL slot in our programming right now. So
okay, I like it. We've got a lot to cover. We don't have a trivia question. We're just going to get right into it, I think.
Head first. Let's do it. Here we go. Of course, as you know, it was the best podcast anywhere.
Oh, yes.
We got to start with the police reports, though.
Oh, let me guess. Vikings?
No. This clown here from the Patriots, he's team captain. I went to Dolphins game. He's arrested. You're team captain, dude. Really? Excuse me. I can't understand these football players getting arrested all the time, day before a game, and he just happens to be injured, and there's happens to be what was a lot of stuff he had here with him. Says that's Peppers. He's the team captain. Whoops. I got excited there. Practice. He's got a shoulder injury. Oh, well, I just gotta say, guys, football players, they get arrested for drugs in the car, for speeding in the car, for beating up their girlfriends so the wife don't find out, whatever the hell's going on with them. I don't know. But there's no heroes in football anymore because they're all thugs. They're all in trouble for something.
So, Andy, here's my question to you is, you and I both know what a captain means on an NFL team or a jersey on a sweater for NHL. Huge compliment. You're the leader. You're looked up to as a leader. Do these players, this one, I'll just say it as an example, do they know the importance of that, or do they just think it's a cool little emblem stuck on there? The importance of that, that's huge.
I mean, the captain back in the day, to get the C on your sweater, I mean, for baseball or basketball, hockey, you're a great clubhouse guy, this and that. Now you look at the C on the sweaters, especially for football and nowadays basketball, you're just the cool guy in the locker room. You're not a leader. You're not an inspiration. You're just the cool guy in the locker room.
Yeah, and that's not the spirit of what that leader. Yeah, disappointing to say the least.
Now we'll hit the WNBA. They head into their finals after tomorrow. The Suns the Suns beat the Lynx, so we got Game 5 tomorrow night, and then you see the finals there, best of 5. It's every other. Almost every day. Be Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, if necessary. New York did beat the Las Vegas Aces and advanced on. As you see, Becky Hammond eliminated for the playoffs for the first time in her coaching career. Aces have won it 2 years in a row. Her first 2 years, she makes the semifinals a loss. It's got to be a weird feeling that I've always just kind of won it. Now what? I feel bad for my girl Becky Hammond. I'm sorry, Becky.
Very good coach.
She's a great coach. And then but you know what? When you've won your first 2 years, you almost need to lose pretty soon so you know how to react. So
yeah, and they had they went back-to-back titles, and because they did that, I mean, if you go further back, they were not that good. So they got those back-to-back first overall picks, and now a couple years later, they had back-to-back championships, and now got.
They were the 4 seed coming in, so it
could be what we're going to see happen here to the what team was it? The
Indiana Fever in a couple years.
Yeah, it could be back-to-back overall first picks.
Well, that's how the Lynx got their 4 out of 7 titles. We had some bad years, had some good picks, and worked out for us. Let's talk some baseball. That's going on, and of course ESPN when they got to talk baseball. We have no problem talking baseball here. Last night in the game, though, between the Dodgers and Padres, there was a little issue with the fans, the Padres players throwing things. In fact, the Dodgers fans delayed the game more than half an hour. There's a risk of a forfeit actually for it. That's how bad it got. A playoff game. Surprises me it was the Dodger fans. Phillies fans, I'd expect that because they're dirtballs. But the Dodgers Padres always have this rivalry. But I didn't think it'd get this bad. But guys, it's a game. Fans, don't screw it up for everybody else. I guess a whole bunch of security had to come out and everything else.
Were objects being thrown into the bullpen while the pitchers were warming up?
Okay. Baseballs being thrown back on the field. No, I get it. I've been at games where you're having banter back and forth with the player. You're ribbing them. And they 99 out of 100, the player has a good time with it. They'll banter you back and forth. The fans here didn't know how to have a good time with it. And again, they blew it out of proportion. We'll see tomorrow night what it's like, what the fans are like. Now, see, if it was me and I was the fans, you got to be the good boys. Come like in choir outfits or angels, halos above your head, be super good dress type thing, Run with it and have a good time. But again, they're Dodger fans. They're not that smart. Here is the playoffs right now. Yesterday, Mets lost 6-7. Again, 8th and 9th inning of that game just added more gray hair to my head. That series tied at 1, going back to New York tomorrow. Padres did win that game yesterday, 10-2 against the Dodgers. That's tied up at 1, going back to San Diego. Today, Cleveland and Detroit, Yankees and Kansas City. I saw that Cleveland-Detroit game before the show today. Oh, my God. Again, more gray hair, but that series as of now is tied 1-1. And no pun intended, but Kansas City, New York, that game is at 1-1 right now. So that's what I want to see. Best of 5 series, go 5 games. I want my money's worth. And here's the rest of the playoffs coming up now. It's kind of an every other day, National League, then everybody, then American League. The way it goes. Excuse me. Now, if I understand it correctly, you got the League Championship Series coming up here next week. They say the World Series, if the League Championship Series both get swept in 4, they'll move the start date up for the World Series. They won't make them wait for so long. So these dates may move up. NASCAR, another great race at Talladega yesterday, is we're in the playoffs. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is your winner, and that's how close that was after a big, as Roscoe Pico trainer would say, horrendous crash. A lot of guys were taken out in the crash. My boy Chase Elliott was, but didn't affect chasing the points. He's still sitting good. He got one more race before they cut him. If that was yesterday's race, it'd be a blessing in disguise because Joey Logano would be cut. He is below the line right now. Daniel Suarez made up some points on that. He was farther down before the crash. He was able to move up, so that helped him. So that's where we're sitting. Racing's very exciting. One more race for cutoffs. And like I said, a crash at the end could jumble points a lot and affect a lot of things. You need to watch these things till the end. Just dabble on some college football here in different ones. We got lots of stuff, so we're going to kind of power through here. The other scores for their teams were on our social media pages. Please follow, like, share, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Missouri Valley, Bison over the Sioux, 41-17. Not even close. And the Bunnies won 41-3, so they stay 1-2. Bunnies 1, Bison 2 in the conference. Nationally. Now, you look at the standings. Yes, North Dakota State's 1, South Dakota, then South Dakota State 2. Say go by conference record first. The Bison are 5-1. The Bunnies are 4-1. I give it to them. South Dakota State's still ranked number 1. Bison are ranked number 2. We'll talk to you in January. We'll see where we're sitting. Northern Sun, Beavs lost on a heartbreaker. If you look at there, I kind of got the scoring summary at the bottom. Northern State scores with 6 seconds to go. So that was a fun game all the way down to the end. Well, fun if you're Northern State. Not so fun for the Beavs. Beavs drop 4-2. Northern State 2-4. And here's the standings of Northern Sun, Minnesota State, Wayne State, and then there's the Beavs at 4th. And as you see, Northern State's down at the bottom. Of course, Southwest Minnesota State and UMary fighting for the participation trophy award down there. And the Gophers had a game. I guess they beat Southern Cal. I guess that was a big deal. A very exciting game. Ghosts come back, score 14 in the fourth to win. Last second play. I saw videos. I shared them on our page, I believe, from Jeremy Quas when he was at the game. Looks like good time was had by all. But now, this is the way I got some things about college football in their rankings. Here we go. USC was ranked 11th coming in. Keep that in mind. Okay, here's the Big Ten with our 18 teams we have. Now, they didn't break them up in the East and West. They just have all 18 here.
I don't think there's an East or West or a Legends or Leaders. I think it's all one. I think it's what they did. I don't have a problem with that, but it's all one, I believe.
So the top two go for the Big Ten title game, I guess, this year at the end. I don't know. If they're going to do four per conference, how they're going to do it for next year. I think when they got the two California teams or the four West Coast teams at the end, it kind of panicked and just threw it all together. We'll see, but there you go. Some more sports notes. We're going to talk about Vanderbilt beats number 1 Alabama. So the Vandy guys take the goalposts. Now, hear me out on this. Here's the story. Vanderbilt scored the biggest win of their football program's history this weekend when the unranked Commodores upset number 1 Alabama Crimson Tide in Nashville. Vanderbilt had never beaten a top 5 ranked team in its program's history. And their last win against Bama came way back in 1984. And it's not like it was a fluke either. They led the entire game, and when Bama's defense was never able to do it. We get basically down to the point here. Bama tears down the goalposts. And I'm going to kind of just skip through this here. They take the goalposts down, and they go down to the river and dump it in the river. Fire department pulls it out. The SEC kind of frowns on this. So they fined Vanderbilt. What was the fine here? $100,000. Vandy fans are in the college like, I'll pay $100,000 to beat Bama all the time. No problem. So not only did they pull the goalposts out of the river, they cut it up in sections and are selling it off to pay for the $100,000 fine in 4-inch pieces. They go from $1,000 to $4,000 for an 8-inch piece. So,
oh my God. Well,
you know what though?
Revenue stream.
Exactly.
Now they can offset the expenses and everyone can have a little piece of history.
Yes.
Someone's thinking over there.
Yes.
Now that's a long way. How many blocks is that?
Let's see if I had the thing here, the story. They took it down a 3-mile parade route to Broadway to the Cumberland River. They dumped her in there.
That's 3 miles. And
these are college students who've been drinking all day, got to walk 3 miles. That's a lot. But I'm pretty sure adrenaline took over. Nashville Fire Department pulled it out. How'd you have to be the fire department for Nashville? That had to be a hoot, man. You're reliving your college days. I'm guessing most of those firemen weren't that far removed from college to start with, you know. For the first time ever, combined, Army Navy are combined 10-0 for the first time since 45.
Rare.
Now, with that said, here's the rankings. Let's see if we can find Army or Navy in the top. Let's see here. I don't see them in the top 15. No, not in the top 15 there. No. No, not in the top 25. Huh. There's Indiana tied for 18th at 6-0, leads the Big Ten. Oh, here they're also receiving votes. Army got 43, or got 33. Navy got 43. And Southern Cal, like I said earlier, went from 11 down to also receiving votes at 98, which basically 26th. Not one vote for the Gophers after their win over Southern Cal. So sometimes you get an upset. A few writers throw you a bone. Groves got squat.
No, nothing. Well,
and speaking of Indiana, they're bowl eligible already. First team to be bowl eligible this year.
Okay, Hoosiers. They got the 6 wins. Got it.
So they're in. I'd laugh if they lost the next 6 games. I'd literally pee my pants laughing. Well, see, that's one of those bets I can make that I'm pretty sure you hear these college guys, oh, if they win, I'm going to, shove a burrito up my butt and stuff like that. No, not me. But if Indiana loses the next 6, I will pee my pants. Soapbox, Dan's favorite part of the show.
I like it. I'm looking forward to this.
Two of them today for you.
Okay.
Here we go. So my notes here. Set just a second. All right, here we go. Okay, I get sick and tired of these stats. Phillies and Mets games against each other all the time. 1,081. Postseason 0. Because they're both in the East, dumbasses. Until a few years ago, they couldn't even play each other in the playoffs. Sick and tired of these stats. Oh, these teams. Oh, the Tigers and Indians haven't played each other in so long in the playoffs. Mets and Phillies have never played because they couldn't. So stop.
Yeah, that's fair.
Stop it. Now, if you want to go, hey, how many have they played since the wild card started and it was a chance, then fine.
Yeah.
But not all the time. Stop. Number 2. Are you sitting down, Dan? Because we're going to get your
this is good.
After a match with Spartans head coach Todd, what's this good? San Jose State University coach is disappointed that teams don't want to play against their transgender volleyball player. San Diego State's volleyball. Brooke Slusser spoke to Outkick podcast about receiving threats since she spoke up against her own team's trans teammate, Blair Fleming. Teammates also feel unsafe about the threat. Brooke won't give up the fight to protect Title IX. So this transgender's own teammates don't like the fact that they're playing. They can't figure out why teams are forfeiting games against them. I don't know. No one wants to play. If I want to play against the boys, I would play on the boys' teams.
Yeah, this, and it's fair enough that he's disappointed, whatever. But he knew, the athletic director knows, the coaching staff knows by having this person on the roster. I got nothing against the person, but
Right.
you know you're going to have problems on scheduling, and you know you're going to have problems like this. So I don't mind that he's disappointed. I'm just glad he didn't say, I'm surprised that people are canceling. What are you going to do? What are teams going to do? Yes, they're going to cancel, and they're not going to want to do it.
Yep.
We've had this so long in swimming. Last 3 years has been going.
Yeah,
it's not going to fly. So
I just don't get it. Why would you let one of those trends? I mean, it's publicity for your team. Yes, they say bad press is still press. Take what you can, but I think this is where the bad press is bad press. You can't make up for this.
Yeah, remember now with the Olympic, was it the Olympic or the Pan Am or the World Games? You know, something that they had a schedule for men's, a schedule for women's, and a schedule for transgender at this event, just to say we're going to be all inclusive. Here's the swimming and diving. Here's all the different sports, the badminton, the tennis, and fine, sign up for whatever you want to do. And there was no interest. So you know that this is not honest to goodness stuff. This is ulterior motives behind this, and it will wreck it. Once again, Title IX took how many decades to get finally passed?
And until 4 years ago, they were still icing it out and figuring it out. And then this happened.
And now you're having this, which is going against the exact same thing we're dealing with. And so you can't have it both ways.
The homework, I want you to look up the career of the great Fernando Valenzuela.
Oh, yes.
And this is why. According to the report from NBC4 Los Angeles, legendary Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Fernando Valenzuela has reportedly been hospitalized with unspecific health problems. Because of this, he will not be involved in the Dodgers' Spanish language broadcasts for the 2024 season. Fernando Valenzuela has stepped away from the Dodgers broadcast booth for the remainder of the year to focus on his health, said the Dodgers on social media. He and his family truly appreciate the love and support of fans, and he aims to return for the 2025 season, and they have asked for privacy during this time. In 91, Valenzuela was released from Los Angeles, signed with then the California Angels. After spending 92 season in the Mexican League, he would find himself playing for numerous MLB teams from 93 to 97, including Baltimore, the Phillies, San Diego Padres, and the Cardinals. Despite this, Valenzuela is a beloved Dodger icon. His number was officially retired by the organization August 11th of 23. He is also inducted into the Hispanic Heritage Baseball Museum Hall of Fame in 2003, the Caribbean Baseball Hall of Fame in 2013, and the Mexican Baseball Hall of Fame in 2014, which I have seen, visited, and saw all the old El Toro stuff down there, as they call them.
Down in
Fernando's
Monterey.
health is in bad shape without getting into the too much because he's not saying. Thoughts and prayers to Fernando and his family.
So he's really thin.
I didn't want to put them up.
Right?
I'm sorry?
He's really thin, right?
Yes, I saw some of the pictures. I didn't want to put them up because, sometimes you want to remember your heroes as being that heavy set guy at the end of his career with the glasses on. That's how I remember Fernando. I don't want to picture this guy who looks dying and sickly.
Well, it's
because when I first saw those pictures, I didn't know if it was real or not. I wanted to wait a couple days, and that's what we do here. We don't jump on the bandwagon, let it sit for a couple of weeks or a week and find out what's going on. Then we report on it.
It's like seeing the Sammy Sosa photo.
Yeah, where he's getting the white skin like the Michael Jackson stuff. I don't know what's going on with that.
It's very strange. But I also did not recognize Fernando when I saw the photo. So I'm glad he's getting his medical attention and stepping aside and whatnot. He was one of the best early or late 80s or mid 80s, right?
Yep.
90s.
Breathing on the wrong island sometimes.
Very, very good. Breathing out of the eyelids. So that's Fernando. So, Andy, do you have any college hockey?
Hockey has started. A lot of exhibition games going on. They will be starting coming up here. I saw Arizona State's winning. North Carolina's got hockey going big on the East Coast over there in the ACC. Augustana is getting theirs. They beat North Dakota in an exhibition game. North Dakota could have playing. They could have called them kids from high school. I don't know, but college hockey will be firing up. We'll have that more in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, that once the WNBA finishes up and NASCAR wraps up, we'll be full-fledged hockey, and college basketball will be starting by then.
The Arizona Fall League is going to be underway, and the Winter Mexican Pacific League is, I think, 1 week into training camp now.
Yep.
So they'll be starting up as well. We'll be covering some of those things. My question to you relates to football. So the Vikings are 5-0, right?
Yep.
They're doing good. No one's expected this. The over/under when the season started was the Vikes are going to win 5, 6, maybe 7 games. 5.5, I think, was popular. Maybe
the homers were saying 9.
And homers are saying 9. Now we're at 5, and they can't believe it. Now the difference is the only thing that's I think is the real difference is the haters on Sam Darnold was at the beginning of the season. They said he can't win, he can't do anything, and the man sucks. Well, if you heard the right people, the prognosticators saying he's finally in a system that's good, he's finally in a court offense that works for him, he's finally with the right coaching staff, maybe this could be his year. And now you see the guy doing well, flourishing. And so maybe that is correct. So even if they stumble, they're going to still win a handful of more games. So they're going to finish with the over. I don't know if they're going to go to the playoffs or not. I don't know that. But the NFL rankings come out, and they're number 1 or number 2. They're in the top. So,
and the thing, we watched the London game here at the Shadow Studios. We had a watch party for our Gold Club member of the fan club.
Yes.
No one on the Vikings really ran away with the game, stats-wise, in my opinion. It was truly a team effort.
Yeah.
It was like, they won because so-and-so rushed for 300 yards, or Jefferson had so many yards, or this or that. It was a pure team effort.
They have a good mix, running, passing mix. There's a good guys to spread it out. There's no real hero, and that's sometimes the teams that do well, that go places, don't have the hero. It's the joint effort.
Well, it's like we said before. They got Justin Jefferson, who's your all-star, your Pro Bowler, whatever you call him. Then you got a bunch of better than average guys. Maybe really good.
Maybe they'll keep the average. We don't know.
So that's what we got. They are a fun team to watch. Every game's been close and exciting, except for the Giants game. But that's all I want. I want fun, close, exciting games to watch, and I'm happy. Everybody that was invited that was here at the studios, thank you. And I even told one guy, I popped off, calling my shot. I said, let's do this again early February when they play.
Uh-oh.
Me, the Viking hater, just said it.
You said it?
At the just short of the 25-minute mark of the show, I just said, let's do this again in early February when the Vikings are playing.
Wow.
Now, if you're playing early February, there's one game in February.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's fun, and there's a lot on the bandwagon. There's a lot going on. It is fun to watch. The defense is phenomenal.
Yeah, they're clicking.
On that Sunday's game in London, the second half kind of faltered. But
whatever game they faltered. But they got
5-0 is 5-0. It's tough to do that in the NFL.
Yep, they can make it up. I think they can. I said what I said.
Right. Now the Gopher football just got done losing to number 10 ranked Michigan by 3 points. One could argue on a bad call. Then they win over number 11 USC.
Yep.
And it's very interesting. We had the early loss, the first game of the season, North Carolina,
which they should have won, some say.
Probably even should have won that, but you get a brand new quarterback in the system. Takes a while, a couple weeks to learn the system, get the hiccups out, and chalk up that first game as just, whatever. This is an FBS guy, right? A Division I FBS, no, FCS school, New Hampshire, Brosmer, North, the Bison, the Bunnies, all these are FCS teams. And you've been harping for years, the talent is good. So the Gophers go and say, let's pick up Brosmer from New Hampshire, passing quarterback. He could work well in the offense. They pick him up. He's now flourishing. He's now doing well. So is this all legit? Is it the real deal? I don't think it's a PJ Fleck had anything to do with this, but the team's doing well. They're at home. They're beating the 11th ranked team, almost beating the 10th ranked team. Now, granted, they've got the three losses, right? Total. So they're not going to go to any, division top tier bowl. It's still a good season, but these are the games that I thought were never going to happen. I never thought they'd beat USC, and I certainly never thought they'd beat Michigan, and they almost did. So
but college football is a lot of what have you done for me lately, especially when it comes to recruiting. They could finish this year strong, getting a better than average bowl game or any bowl game really, but do well in that could help recruiting for next year. So in a way, are you playing for next year? Well, kind of. Are you playing for a draft pick in a way by winning because you're playing to get better recruits? Hey, they won. They looked really strong at the end of the year. This quarterback seems to know what he's doing. These guys got their act together. I want to play there.
Yeah, it's interesting.
They're competitive in their losses. They won out strong. That's what they need to do.
If they continue to do well, this defensive back, the safety, Coy Persich, the local kid, recruitment offers from all over, comes to Minnesota. If they can do that and turn around that part of their recruiting and get the local kids, this program could be back again. But that's the problem. The top talent in the state always go elsewhere.
Yep.
So that's interesting. So Coy, good job for Mr. Coy. The guy is a stud. He's a true freshman. The guy just this past spring was graduating high school and attending the senior high prom. Now he's a Division I star as a true freshman. I mean, that's how young the kid is. So that could be interesting going on. So those Gopher games are going to be interesting. The Vikings are going to be interesting. The Timberwolves we haven't touched on. What I'm hoping, Andy, is next week to have a little more information on that. That trade with Cat to dump him over to the New York Knicks when we got 3 players in return, a first-round pick, and then the Wolves give up a second-round pick in 2025. There's a lot going on there. I'm hoping to get a little more information.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of the businessmen I don't know a lot of the business stuff for NBA on salary cap and everything else.
It'll be interesting because there's a lot going on there, and they may not be done in the offseason doing things. But the Wolves very creative the way they're doing this, and it could all work out. We'll have more on that next week.
We're working on expanding the Sports and Songs family, so we might have more next week on that on Timberwolves stuff. So
yes, that's correct. That's all I've got though. No trivia question for the week. Postseason for baseball is hot and heavy. Things are going on. It will be interesting to see here what the hurricane down in Florida is going to have on the wreaking some potential havoc on. There's college football games in that area. Yeah. The fall, the Roy Hobbs tournament goes on there down at Fort Myers every year, down at the end of October. Those tournaments are coming up. Things are are at questionable, I should say. There's a questionable as far as the widespread damage that could happen there. We'll report more on that next week. But that's all I've got for sports.
All right, that's all we got. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.